Macomb School District is in the process of incorporating a new work-based learning program that would allow seniors to earn class credit outside of the classroom.
At News Since 5, WGEM's Dylan Smith spoke with one of those teachers who proposed the idea, and he joins us in studio now with more. Dylan.
Daniel and Mackenzie High School ag teacher Wyatt McGrew says even though the new program stemmed from FFA, it's available to all incoming seniors. He says it's a win for both the students and the community. Wyatt McGrew believes a successful student is made both in and out of the classroom, taking what they learn at school and applying it to the workforce.
The idea is that hopefully we set that student on track so that when they graduate, they've already secured a position that they can work at. Starting next school year, between 15 and 20 students will be part of a pilot program where they'll earn class credit and workforce experience at a business that suits their interests. Superintendent Patrick Toomey says the program has been in talks for the past few years.
When that conversation came about work-based learning, it really fit into at least my own personal beliefs that we need to do a better job of connecting kids with opportunities beyond these four walls.
And while Toomey says students learn several components about life after graduation while in school, applying those components at a young age will best prepare them.
This isn't about us necessarily just matching a kid with an employer. This is about the student going through that process that they would have to go through beyond high school to get a job.
The student gains knowledge and class credit. The community gains a prospective employee.
It really gives those students the idea, or the opportunity to get kind of latched onto that company, and gives an employer in the area the opportunity to have, a worker coming forward in a time where there's a shortage of people in trades.
And Toomey says if next year's pilot program is a success, the full curriculum will be sent to the board curriculum committee, and if approved, the program would be in place permanently after next school year. Dylan Smith, WGEM News.
Thank you, Dylan. And Toomey says the Macomb Area Economic Development Corporation will help connect students with businesses. After approval in the next month's board meeting, there will be a few meetings to invite businesses to be a part of the program.